Okay,
Yo.
word. All right.
What's up, brother? Hold on, hold on. We're just turning out the volume, and there we go. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Cheers, brother. Appreciate you coming on with us.
Appreciate you taking the time to let me.
Yeah, for sure.
How are things? You up in Miami right now, or how are things with you, man?
And John, I like your Heat jersey.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly Olynyk, number 9, man. Yeah, big fan as well.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't really like you guys.
So do you stay loyal to your Spurs, or who's your team of choice?
What you mean? Of course, bro. San Antonio guy.
Born and bred, man.
Yes, bro.
The Tim Duncan days, honestly, like watching Last Dance right now and just rolling through that. I mean, you don't get as much of the Timmy D days, but you saw some, end of career David Robinson, and that was an amazing franchise for so long. And now it's that rebuild time, but congratulations on what was a great dynasty for a long time.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's it like being out in Miami? You were in LA before, right?
Yeah, I was living in LA for about 3 years.
Okay.
But I've been going there around like 8 years.
What brought you out to Miami?
Music brought me out to Miami. I was 15 years old. I remember I signed my first record deal with Cash Money and moved straight from San Antonio to Miami and then started my whole career here.
That's sick.
Yeah. And I've just been doing music here ever since, and I love it here better than LA, honestly. Like, I love creating in Miami more. Writing is just more easier for me, I think, here. I'm not sure where you guys are from, but what do you guys think about LA?
About LA?
Yeah, you guys are right now, right?
Yeah, we're actually in Winnipeg in Canada. We're kind of like right in the middle.
Oh, you're in Canada?
Yeah, we're in Canada. Yeah.
No, that's sick, bro.
But I go to Miami quite a bit. Like one of my good friends is Kelly Olynyk.
Okay, cool.
So we go out and see him a lot, and he's a big ambassador of the brand, and Tyler Hero, super cool guys, So we're out there a decent amount, and super cool. Like
LA though, and I mean LA is the West Coast, and now with you being on the East Coast as well, but. I mean, both amazing in their own rights.
Yeah.
When we speak about LA, I think the one thing that comes to mind, both LA and Miami, is that they're cities where, there's a lot of spirit in kind of people, and there's a lot of spirit in the collective. And obviously right now with, COVID and everything, what's that like out on the East Coast? I know you enjoy the outdoors and getting out on the boat and doing whatever. So what's that been like?
It's been real up in the air. Like it's been kind of weird because it's real strict, but at the same time, Florida's kind of wild and they're kind of loose. So, like, they're also on some, like, all right, well, we're kind of just going to start opening everything up now. And we're all kind of like, we should probably just take our time a little bit with this. Like, even if you guys say it's cool to just roam around and start getting into, what we used to be doing. So, but the beaches are still locked up. I can't go down on the beach because I live right on the sand. But it's chill. It's You
find it it's a completely different vibe, LA to Miami, hey? Like when I remember before I ever went to LA, I was like, it's gonna be crazy parties, it's gonna be open like all hours of the night. And once I got to LA, I was like, man, everything seemed to shut down super early unless you have a house party. As opposed to Miami, it's like go all throughout the night, and it's just like
I can go till like the sun comes up. Every time.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And you do.
They both give you sunburn, though. They both give you sunburn. That's the issue.
Yeah. For sure.
West and East.
Miami over everywhere else. Besides
Miami's just a vibe. It reminds me of the Caribbeans, where it's just like
exactly.
super chill vibe. Like everyone just kind of like goes with the flow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels tropical, like the Bahamas for sure.
Yeah.
So have you been following a lot of the Heat? Like, is that your team now, or are you still San Antonio?
I die, bro. Like, I'm always a Spurs fan. I love the Heat. Like, I would say that's probably my second favorite team just because I've been to a lot of games. And, when the Spurs and the Heat were going at each other, it was like a big moment because that was right when I moved to Miami in, 2013.
Yeah.
2012. So it was, like, right at that time. So it was, like, a crazy, like, I don't know. I can't even explain it. Like, I was at Game 6. Allen hit that corner three to win.
Oh, crazy.
I thought I was walking out like champions, like.
Yeah.
And then
that was an amazing series, and man, there's kind of a resurgence in Miami. I felt like, Miami to me growing up, it was like Bad Boys 2. And then all of a sudden Braun came to town and really brought like a lot more of the culture, etc. But I mean, him and, just it really brought basketball, I think, back to Miami, because it wasn't there before Braun really come. I know they won in 06, and then it felt like they'd lost a little bit again, and then, resurgence with them kind of coming back. Sorry. So
it was definitely a crazy time.
Yeah.
I remember the national anthem before Game 1 in San Antonio.
Ooh.
That was the game when LeBron was complaining about the heat because the AC wasn't working.
Was it hot in there?
It was hot. It was super, super hot. I mean, it's Texas, so it was like no AC, like
wow.
Middle of, whatever season we were in Texas, it was like so hot.
Wow. Imagine playing in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't even, like, and everybody's energy and like everything in the whole stadium, like moist in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, next time we're out there, we gotta go. We'll hit up Kelly and we'll go see a game.
I'm down, bro.
We'll play some twos. We'll go me and Nick versus you and Kelly. I think I can take Kelly on the block. And, I mean, Austin, you play a little bit of hoops yourself or what?
Yeah, of course. We can run it, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
You can work this kid, man. If I can work him,
yeah, right. This guy.
But ball aside as well, I mean, I know on the creativity side, I was really, it was very interesting for me to learn about what you're doing in the photography world, really, because, I mean, the music is how a lot of people know you, and we'd love to hear what you're working on there. But on the photography side, I read a great blog on, I think it was Gusto 35, and really got into just your love of the point and shoot. And one thing that I thought was a really cool vibe is, like, especially being a millennial, to really get behind a camera, put the phone down and capture some amazing imagery. Like, I'd love to hear about that, man. Yeah,
I think I really just fell in love with it when I moved to LA about 3-4 years ago. I went out there, started in West Hollywood for a bit, and then I realized that I liked Venice more. And when I moved to Venice, that's when I met Gusto 35. His name is Javier, and that's my boy. And we would just, roam around Venice and just, take pictures. And he really kind of just guided me on the film side. And it kind of just took my mind away from the music, because the music side was kind of like a little bit hectic at that time. And I was, starting a new project like from scratch. So it was like, all right, I was trying to find inspiration. So the photography kind of took my mind away from the music and then writing and all that, and let me just kind of live life a little bit. And it kind of taught me to really just live in the moment and not have to worry about, like, cool, we can always get great HD pictures on our iPhones, but it's cool to just not know what the picture's going to look like and just live in the moment. Like, if you feel like, oh, this would be a cool picture, a little point and shoot is all you need. Because, yeah, there's, like, like more serious ones where you got to adjust, like, all the lenses, everything's in focus, and, that takes a little bit more time, and it's tough because, when you're telling people to post, like, you got to keep it still, trying to keep it focused. It's like all manual, so it's just easier to just live in the moment with a point and shoot. You're at the club, you're at like a random party in LA, in the hills, or on the beach or wherever, and you're just pointing and clicking and shooting, and then you don't know like what the pictures came out like. Sometimes they come out like complete trash, and sometimes they don't even develop at all, but sometimes they can be like the most beautiful looking photo you've ever seen. Yeah.
So what's your vision with those photos? Like, what do you plan on doing with it? Like, do you plan on like turning it into art or like clothing? Like, what's your kind of vision with those photos?
All of that, everything you just said. Like, I think it's cool to just kind of live life for a bit and just get as many photos as I can, and then I've definitely marked like my favorite ones that I think would be cool on like t-shirts or hoodies or
Send us some. We'll make them into shirts.
Yeah, we could do
That'd
anything.
Be lit.
Maybe like some cover art for music coming.
All of that.
Well, that's what I saw in your photography, man. Like, I've been telling Nick lately, especially during these past few months, there's so much content right now. It's hard to figure out what's truly authentic, right? You snap 10 photos to pick the best one, then you filter it 15 times to show it to your 6 girlfriends, and they're like, oh, you look great. But I'm kind of like at this point where I love to see reality. It's raw. It's just there. Like once you develop that, it's like, whoa, that was the smile in that moment. It really captures it. So I think that's really cool on the creative side, and that's what I noticed from your photography work. So it's really cool, man.
Hey, checking that out. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like we have a good friend, Jay West, who actually very similar. Like he does, like he draws a lot. So he actually, his big bro is ASAP Ferg. So he actually, same concept. He was drawing, and then ASAP liked his drawing and actually used it for his Trap Lord cover. So like same thing with you. You could start doing album covers, whatever, with your photography, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
endless, like shirts, whatever you want to do.
it's really the bigger picture. Like you're saying, like it's more than just taking a picture and like, oh, this is a cool picture. Like, no, there's other things you can do with it. And so now, like I've taken, I don't know, maybe like 3,000 pictures, on my film cameras. Like I have cool, like T-shirts or like cover art or whatever. So it's just it's a great way to get the juices flowing, in my opinion.
I love it. And everybody's like, as an artist, like you're an artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're always drawing inspiration from different things. Like we were just reading up a little bit, like George Strait is one of your, like someone you draw inspiration from. Like why him? Like I think it's super cool because the connection through you is through Lil Buck. And like I reached out to Lil Buck through kind of seeing him dance through a different genre.
Mm-hmm.
And incorporating his style on it. So he's not recreating the wheel, but he's taking inspiration from Michael Jackson. He's taking inspiration from ballet. He's, violinists, like all over. And like I'm seeing very similar things with you and kind of what we do as well with clothing. Like we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just seeing like people wear T-shirts, but we're putting our spin on it. Like George Strait, like can you talk a little bit why you're inspired by George Strait and like how, you take your twist on it?
Yeah, I think just like Lil Buck, I think with my music, I'm doing the same thing as far as like mixing genres together and like, a lot of times growing up, like people would just tell me that I should just only do one. Like nah, like people would be like, what is this guy thinking? What is this guy like? Is he confused? Like nah, it's just like I love different types of genres and I'm good at a few, different ones. I put them together and make, my own thing. So it really started with country when I was living in San Antonio, Texas. Grew up there from 0 to 15. Only listened to George Strait, Alan Jackson, Rascal Flatts, Kenny Chesney, like just, a bunch of great country artists. And that was really all I knew until I started listening to T-Pain in like 2007. And that changed everything for me. Like once I heard T-Pain for the first time, I was like, whoa, what else is out there that's like this? Because this is just like some soul that I've never heard before. So T-Pain really opened, that R&B door for me. I started listening to like Boyz II Men and Neo and Usher are like some of my biggest inspirations. But like I just like to tie those things together. Like I love rock music. I love the 1975. I love a lot of different things that I can mash up into one type of genre, and that's really what I'm working on for my next project that I have coming out. I'm gonna drop a project that's all about everything that I do in Miami, and I'm gonna start dropping some songs in maybe like a month or two.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I'm in experimental mode right now.
So what kind of made you want to take this path? Like, what was like? Were your parents like pressuring you to do other things, or like were you more just like, like you knew from like what age, like what did you want to do? Like you obviously started young, so you obviously had a clear vision of something. But like, what were your parents like? Like what kind of drove you into this path?
Well, I was raised by a single, and I moved around a lot as a kid. I would be in, different schools, different homes. So um, I felt like I never really had that much time to like make some friends and then keep them and then, move to a different town and then, keep those old friends. So I was always making new friends and like um, moving to like little different country towns outside of San Antonio. Uh, and going back to like the whole, clothing brand and the name and what it means, like feeling like you don't know what it is, but you're just not ordinary. Like to me, like I didn't want to have to work a 9 to 5 job. I didn't want to have to do something that I hated every day and work for someone that I just didn't like. So I knew that it had to be me. I had to be my own boss. So I just got on YouTube and I just started like, studying everyone on there and I was, getting some ideas and I was thinking to myself, if these people can do it, like, why can't I just put myself out there and just, I didn't really know what I was doing at first. It was me just playing basketball with my boys and then us wrestling and then, me singing one video and then that one got more views. So I just started only doing singing videos after a while and then I just found something that I loved and it wasn't ordinary and I just stuck with it and people would always be like, what are you doing, bro? Like, they just didn't understand it. They just thought it was just like, they didn't just, like, no one got it. But I was having fun with it and I just kept doing it and then it, took me to the moon. So, I don't know.
It's pretty real, man. Like I listen to what you're saying, and I love that idea of just sticking with it. And there was this quote that I'd heard, but it had said that it's often about just developing these ordinary skills to an extraordinary degree, but
Mm.
it's just hard sustained work. And I think what happens is so many people, whether it's a business or a YouTube, whatever it may be, they give up. They stop at a certain point. You go from 10 viewers to 50, you get discouraged. Like, how did you push through? Because there were barriers along the way, I'm sure. Like, you pushed through those and through different forms of content, things happened in your favor. Were there times that, you maybe had some adversity that you had some difficulty with?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every day I went to school, to high school, uh, kids were just like, pushing me into my locker and being like, oh, bro, like, you're so gay. Like, why are you just like, just, they didn't even know what they were talking about. They were just throwing words at me, like, just trying to hurt me. I have no idea why, but it was definitely hurtful, but like it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, I'm just gonna stop doing what I enjoyed to do. So I just stuck with it, and I think honestly, really, in a way, it's kind of like I felt like I was kind of social distancing myself back then, and I think that's what really helped me become successful because I was always by myself in my room for I don't know 2 years, maybe 3. And I just had so much time to just be on the internet and look and get inspired and shoot a video every day in my room and just get creative and, just thinking of things I could do in my room with like the objects that were in there just to, make a video. So it's not that hard. You just got to just figure out what you want to do and just do it, and be consistent with it.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so important. And
Mm.
like, same thing like with our business. It's like we have our ups and downs. Like we have like slow months, we have booming months. But it's like if we were to look at like the struggles in the fashion industry, if you're not passionate about it, you're not gonna succeed because the moment you get a downslope, you're gonna be like, forget this. I can just go pick up a job and go. So we completely relate. The whole creating your own path is a lot harder, but it's fun. You have to be passionate about it though. Like that's super important because otherwise you're just gonna give up on your dream and like anything. Like think of how many things like you've done in your life where it's like, man, I kind of like this, but you get deeper into it, you realize you're like, nah, I'm not interested. Like I remember I picked up like one of those little Apple like DJing things like from the Apple store. I was like, man, I love music. Like maybe I'll start mixing this and that. And I remember like I got like one gig. This is when I lived in Ottawa. I got one gig just at like this little social thing, and like built my way up to it. I was like, man, this isn't really for me. Like I just kind of gave up on it, you know. But if I was really passionate about it, who knows where I'd be, you know? So I think that's super important, especially for like the viewers, like pursuing something that they really have to be passionate about it. Otherwise, don't really bother, you know, like do something that you're passionate about and just give it your all and see it through, you know, don't just give up on it when times get hard.
Yeah, and I think that's the things that the Michael documentary taught us all.
Yeah. Yo, facts. Yeah. The Last Dance, like, I didn't watch the last.
Are you through? Have you finished? Have you finished up or?
Yeah, I watch it live every Sunday.
Okay, yeah. So
we get it on.
No. Well, I've watched it. Nick, you had an excuse, right? You haven't seen it.
No, doesn't it show Canada on Mondays, not Sundays?
No, they put it up.
Did it? Yeah, they put it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm late on that.
Yo, but Austin, was Reggie pushed off? Michael didn't. That's the verdict as far as I'm concerned. Your thoughts?
I would agree with that.
Man, but I will say this: Reggie Miller, underrated Hall of Famer. That was one of the most brilliant push-offs. And the thing I said about The Last Dance is this: it took so many moments of my childhood. I'm born in '88, so like my older sister was like a huge Chicago Bulls fan, and I remember seeing these plays, but I couldn't tie them together. And that Reggie Miller play, that along with the one at the Garden where he does the choke to spike, and it's great, man, and it brings it all together. And Michael is just, I don't know, he was a huge influence to us, and I mean the game of basketball.
He paved the way.
He did, yeah.
You know what I really took from that is like the mindset, is like how Michael talked about BJ Armstrong when he beat him in that one game, and he just went off and he said, "Hey, good game, Michael." Yeah. And then they do this whole thing on it, and they're like, "Yo, did BJ actually say good game to you?" He's like, "Nah, I just made that up." And I was like, "Man, that's crazy because the brain is so crazy. Like you can actually convince yourself and get this extra human strength
for sure
to like do whatever you have to do." But he had to do that and actually believe his own lie. You know, like that's super cool. You know, like that's what makes him the greatest player, is that he can put himself in that mindset every single day and go crazy, you know?
Why is the goat?
That is facts.
It seems to be it's hard to dispute at this point, right? Especially after watching that, and it was tough even with Kobe passing as well. You know, to tie that all in, I'm not sure. You know, everyone who was kind of involved with the NBA and the extended family NBA, that was tough. And then when COVID happened, I kind of felt like, you know, it would have been nice to mourn Kobe a bit longer. We did a commemorative collaboration. And
did you get to check that out? The collab we did, or we didn't do collab. Sorry, the piece that we did to kind of represent Kobe Bryant and for his foundation. I'm gonna send you. I'll show you what we do. What's that?
Throw it in the group chat. I'd love to see it, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I want to know, like, more about, like, you were talking about your album and what you got going on. Like, is there anything that you want to share? Like, I'd love to hear more about kind of the direction you're headed, like creative direction.
Yeah,
like,
the mission, the vision.
Yeah, what's kind of your vibe with it?
So, it's not like a technical album that I'm coming out with. Like I'm gonna come out with some small projects of like 7 songs.
How many? 7?
Yeah, 7 songs, 8 songs, somewhere around there. Something real small, and then just put out a bunch of them. It's all gonna be different, you know, from R&B and then like country and maybe some house, maybe some more alternative. Like I don't know. Yeah. I
love that.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind the album? Like, is there like a direction that you're going with it, or?
Well, this first
something you're going through in life.
The first project I'm gonna come out with, it has a name, but I'm not gonna say it yet.
Okay.
but it's all about Miami.
Oh,
All the nights that I'm in Miami doing, going out, going to the club, going here, like hanging out with these people, like I'm just gonna, talk about everything in those songs, and then maybe make it like a series and do like 2 or 3 more small projects like that,
I love it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be soulful. That's the bottom line,
Yep. Well, if there's anything we can do to help to push it, man,
I
by all
appreciate it.
means,
I say we do like a collab or something on like a piece, like a T-shirt or a
let's
hood.
do it.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe
get that going. That'd be amazing.
What's kind of the? Send us the info later, and we can start.
I think we should come out with like some shorts for summer,
Done.
Okay.
but it's kind of too late now. So
But Miami's hot all year round. I was in there
that's true.
in
You're right.
December, and I'm like wearing shorts, like, you know what I mean?
No, you're right. I like that. That's cool. Do that.
We're gonna get on that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that video. Send me that thing.
Hell yeah.
No, absolutely, we're gonna do that. Austin, I think we wanted to save some time as well. We had so many like amazing questions asked throughout, and I mean, man, we had some amazing conversation as well about ball, about life, fashion. One question I always have is, when you're allowed to kind of, I guess, leave where you are, right? Everybody right now is still kind of in place. Do you have kind of a destination, somewhere you'd like to go visit, just outside of Miami? Is there somewhere that's calling your name?
I think I want to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
Not Winnipeg?
I would love to come to Winnipeg. Where that is on the map, I couldn't point.
Yo, come visit us, bro.
I'm down. Is it cold there? Like, how does it feel
No,
there?
man, it's
Not right now.
warm,
It's like
bro.
29 degrees Celsius today,
Yeah.
which I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, today it's about 80, 85, but it goes down to like minus 40 in the winter, man.
Like, disgusting.
It sounds
Buck will tell you all about that.
Yeah,
But he'll also tell you that the Winnipeg people are real cool.
yeah, oh yeah,
And that we know how to party.
leave it.
yeah, no,
A lot of good-looking people, too.
yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, so anytime you're ready, baby.
I'm ready, bro.
Yeah, I got extra air miles too. I'm happy to put that. Thank you, brother. But no, man, that's amazing. So, Nick, should we grab some of these questions from the audience?
Yeah,
Totally. Keep chopping it up. Well, Austin, what we were thinking of is cool with you, man, is we've had like a ton of people engage in just like a few questions. You mind if we read out a few from the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we've got Elena Milikoff. Just any specific dates for the new music, and if so, where they can follow and keep up to date with all that information for those releases?
Dates right now, I don't have any exact dates, but it's probably going to be within 1 month. And then from there, it's going to just not stop.
Okay.
So yeah, just stay tuned for it. Keep your ears to the streets.
Cool.
Okay. We've got Not Wearing My Glasses. What do we got here? Was that Abyssa 08? Is that Abyssa? Okay, we've got, so Austin, missions and visions for the next album. Or I guess the next collaborative piece, the 7 to 8 song drop. Kind of the missions and visions behind that. I know you've mentioned some, but if you'd like to touch on that again.
The missions and the visions for this project, I think it's all tying back to just doing something real, bro.
Yeah.
You mentioned Miami vibes, right?
Yeah, like I think
Vibes.
I love being in Miami, and this is like, this is my home. So besides Texas, but I just think it just feels more real here. And this is where I've grown up pretty much, the last 9 years. So to me, it's the realest it gets, making
Bro,
my out here, shooting the videos out here.
Bro, you know who loves to do music is Kelly Olynyk from The Heat.
Really?
You guys need to get into the booth together and I know you guys would create some magic. He can actually spit bars.
Really?
Yeah.
Like crazy. Like he actually and a lot of those dudes, like a lot of their passion comes from music.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start a group chat. I'm gonna hit up Kelly after this. I'm gonna start a group chat and hopefully we can make some magic happen.
I'm down, bro. I got a studio. Like you see, I'm in the forest right now.
Well, that's
Is that your studio?
It's my studio. Yeah, I got trees.
Wow, bro.
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna hit up Kelly,
Yeah.
and once the borders open, I'm gonna be in the studio too.
Bro, I'll just pull up on him. Let me know. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I'd be interested myself as well. 50 shekel.
They call him 50 shekel.
Yeah. But I used to.
Yo,
back in the day.
you did a collab with 50 Cent. He's making a joke because
Yeah.
he's Jewish. 50 shekel, right? So, but 50 Cent, you did work with 50 Cent.
did a record.
Nick, thanks for bringing in the context, brother.
I did a record with him and Abraham Mateo, and
Yeah.
and that thing just went crazy.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What was it like working with those? You also worked with Rich Homie Quan, Taylor Swift. Yeah.
It was cool. I mean, every collab is different. Most of the time, it's not in the same room. You know, you send the song, they send their verse with it back to you. But it's cool. I'm so grateful to have worked with so many incredible artists. You know, like 50 Cent, Taylor Swift. I mean, I could name a million artists: Akon, T-Pain. Like,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can I ask you like how the process of that works? Like for us, like as a brand, like we've been approached by numerous brands wanting to work with us. We've approached numerous brands wanting to work with them. Like, what's kind of the process in the music industry where it's like, did they hit you up? Because we were talking to Ezzy last week, and Beyonce's manager had hit her up, and she told us that was kind of her big breaking point. What was it like for you? Like, did someone just like hit you up and be like, yo, this dude's Zod, like, I want to work with you? Like, how, or did you reach out to them? Like, kind of, what was the process for that?
when I first got signed.
Yeah, like, though, even like your first collab, like, I'd love to know any about that. Like,
First collab, I can't really remember my first collab. There's been so many. I can't.
I think you just mean like more like the process.
yeah,
of,
the
like,
process.
How,
Like,
yeah,
what was it like? Like, how did it go? Did you reach out to them? Did you have a management team that got you the deal, or like, were you using your connections to kind of like facilitate the deal, or like, how did that whole process happen?
I mean, yeah, that's what I have managers for. You know, when I first moved to Miami, I felt like they were the best ones, and they had connections with all the people that I looked up to. So I felt like that was just the right lane for me to go with them.
Yeah.
And they T-Pain as well, ironically, which is pretty sick. So
That's sick.
at first at 15, like, yeah, they were always bringing the connections in. But as I grew up, like, I always just stayed in touch with everybody and just made connections on my own. And then from there, just building my own relationships.
100%.
Yeah.
It's all about connections nowadays, especially, right?
I mean, yeah, it's all about connections always.
Yeah, I love that.
And all the raw relationships, man, too. Like, and then just embracing and growing those, and it's great. And man, I love the vibe that you've set up. Like, it's like your own little creativity pod. Like, I'm hearing some crickets and some nature chirping. Like, man, that's good for you. That's great.
Thank you,
I
bro.
can't wait till the borders open back up. Yo, it's gonna be lit.
I can't wait. I really trying to get a tan, bro.
We gotta send you a mask. We got some FFO masks. We're gonna send you out one.
Full package, yeah. We'll get a full good package.
Please ask, bro.
Yeah. We gotta make sure that you're staying healthy, you know?
Yeah. Gotta stay healthy. Absolutely.
Yo, we have another question from a viewer. What's something that you love that a lot of people don't know about?
Something that I love that a lot of people don't know about.
Could be food, music, fashion. What's your favorite? I'll make it more specific. What's your favorite designer? What brand? Besides Ordinary, what's your favorite brand?
My favorite brand, I think. That's a good question. Probably right now, like. Bro, it's too hard. It's like asking someone their favorite song.
Yeah, true. I have a favorite song.
What's your favorite song?
Probably Song Cry by Jay-Z.
I don't think I've heard that.
Really?
Mine's 11:11.
You know what? You know what's crazy is Drake remixed it on his new album. What's the Drake? If you listen to Drake's new album, he has a cover of it, and I know that you kind of started covering other people's songs, right? That's kind of like where your YouTube career kind of kicked off.
Yeah, that's how I started. I was just covering people's songs, and then just did so many of them that just grew over time really quickly, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it seems like everybody kind of does that. Like you look at Biggie's greatest hits, and it's like all covers. You know what I mean? Like those aren't original beats. Those aren't original kind of songs. He just kind of puts his twist on it, right?
Always.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's essentially kind of what we're doing. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's like we're just doing our spin on of what we think is fashion, or we're on our modern take of where we're living through basketball, and we're inspired by basketball, we're inspired by music, so we just take that and put it into clothing type thing. So it's super cool.
Well, I can't wait to see what you guys been working on.
Bro, we're gonna show you. We're gonna work on something real crazy for you though.
What you guys have on the store, but send me some new stuff, bro. I know you guys have some shorts or some socks that are like new that haven't come.
Just wait till we design something especially for you for your launch.
But we'll get a box there ASAP.
Hell yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, just in the group chat, we'll get your address and stuff, and then we'll get it out there ASAP.
To you, and then you and I will jump on a call and come up with some like just crazy brainstorming ideas. We'll just have a session of just like concepts and what you're inspired by and that whole design process. Super fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm down, bro. Let me know.
Okay.
So Austin, we gotta always close it out with this, and I don't say gotta close it out because it's been unbelievable,
Yeah.
man. You really shared a lot of amazing stuff with us, and really got a sense of all the amazing things going on right now in your career and in your life. So thank you very much for that. But I wanted to ask as a closing question, what does Far From Ordinary mean to you?
Far from ordinary means, to me, doing the things in life that nobody else is willing to do, because that's what's gonna make you great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In putting in the hours, the days, the weeks, the years of work, other people are just amazing to do. A lot of people are afraid to change, but only way you're gonna change is if you just consistently go hard every day. So if you can do that, then I think you're someone that's far from ordinary.
And no matter what you do.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, it could be anything. As long as you love it, as long as you really work on your craft,
Yeah. Leave it all on the floor. Give it your best.
Put in the
I
extra.
love that. Like a lot of people who buy our brand are like, we have surgeons who buy our brand, and they talk about Far From Ordinary experiences, about, things that they go through, and it's super inspiring, so it's not just on the creative, it's not just on, it's whatever you do, it's like you can be far from ordinary and you can be original.
It's not your life circumstance.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. I think ultimately what it comes down to is that there's this old saying by a guy, Jim Rohn. He's like this old 1970s OG motivational speaker, and he said, they'll pay you $5 an hour to take out the trash at McDonald's, and they'll pay you $6 an hour to take out the trash and you whistle. And I think being far from ordinary is just, it's as simple as being that guy that whistles when he takes out the trash, if that's what you're doing. And if it's making, billboard hits and inspiring millions of people like yourself, Austin, then that's pretty far from ordinary as well, man. So we appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yo, brother.
Enjoy.
We'll keep in touch, and let's create some magic together, brother.
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you.
Stay well.
Peace.